If you have crews working outdoors anywhere in California, Cal/OSHA has a specific heat standard you have to follow. It is called CCR 3395, and one requirement inside, it gets employers cited more than almost anything else. In the next few minutes, I will walk you through everything 3395 actually requires. In plain English, the exact temperature triggers and the one document you're legally required to keep on site. So what is it? 8CCR 3395 is Cal/OSHA's Outdoor Heat Illness Prevention Standard. The key word is outdoor. It applies to all outdoor places of employment in California. This trips people up because it is not limited to heat waves and it is not limited to a few industries. If your people work outdoors in California, this standard applies to you. There's also a companion rule, Section 3396, that covers indoor workplaces that get hot, but today we're focused on the outdoor standard, 3395, because that is the one most crews live under. Let's go through the requirements, starting with water. 3395 requires fresh, pure, and suitably cool drinking water, provided free of charge, and located as close as practicable to where your crew is working. And there's a specific quantity, enough for each employee to drink at least 1 quart per hour, which is 4 8-ounce cups. Water is not a high heat rule. It is an all-the-time rule. It is required whenever there is outdoor work, not just when the temperature crosses some line. Next, shade. This one has a clear trigger. When the temperature exceeds 80 degrees, shade must be present and open so employees can use it. Below 80 degrees, shade still has to be made available on request. There needs to be enough of it to accommodate everyone who is on a rest break or a recovery period at the same time. And like water, it has to be located as close as practicable to where the work is happening. So 80 degrees is the number to remember for shade. Now rest and acclimatization. Any employee who feels they need to cool down is entitled to a preventative cool-down rest of at least 5 minutes in the shade, and they do not have to wait for permission or a scheduled break. Then there is acclimatization, which is about the body adjusting to heat. New employees have to be closely observed during their first 14 days on the job because they are not used to the heat yet. And during a heat wave, everyone gets that closer observation, not just the new hires. Most serious heat incidents happen in those first few days of exposure, which is exactly why this rule exists. When the temperature hits or passes 95 degrees, a second layer of rules kicks in, called high heat procedures. At 95 and above, you have to step up observation for signs of heat illness, give regular reminders to drink water, and hold pre-shift meetings to go over the day's heat procedures, along with a system to make sure no one is working alone and unwatched. These high heat rules apply with particular force to agriculture, construction, landscaping, oil and gas, and transportation. So there are really two numbers that matter: 80 degrees for shade and 95 degrees for high heat procedures. And here is the requirement that gets employers cited more than any other: the written plan. 3395 requires a written heat illness prevention plan. It has to be in writing, it has to be in English and in the language understood by the majority of your crew, and it has to be kept to the work site where employees and Cal/OSHA can see it. This is the piece people forget, because you can be doing the water, the shade, and the rest correctly in practice and still get cited simply because there is no written plan on site. And remember, under Cal/OSHA's heat emphasis, they can show up and inspect for this without anyone filing a complaint. So the fastest way to have that written plan on site is this. TailgateDocs generates a heat illness prevention plan that meets 8 CCR 3395 with your trigger temperatures, your water and shade procedures, acclimatization, the high heat steps, and emergency response, all written out the way the standard requires. And because so many California crews are Spanish-speaking, it comes with a Spanish version, so you meet the language requirement for your crew. It is $49 one time. That is the difference between doing the right things on site and being able to prove it when Cal/OSHA asks. Link is in the first line of the description and the pinned comment. Quick recap. 8 CCR 3395 applies to all outdoor work in California. Water is required at all times, at least a quart per person per hour. Shade is required once it is over 80 degrees. Cool-down rest is available anytime an employee needs it, and new workers get close observation for their first 14 days. High heat procedures start at 95 degrees. And the single most cited requirement is having the written heat illness prevention plan on site in the right languages. If you need that plan, tailgatedocs.com/California-heat-illness-prevention-plan. Stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next one.